So just as I set up my camera, I see a little hawk fly by. So someone may need to look up the spiritual meaning of the hawk. Hawk is a predator. Could be, you have to decide if you are the predator or the prey. But, a hawk, one of the things that I think about is like, a hawk must have like really great eyesight. Perhaps better than humans. Human beings have 20/20 vision, but a lot of birds, they can see from very far, so they're like up soaring. They can spot their prey and then swoop down on them very quickly. So, you may be seeing something from afar, taking a higher level perspective on viewing something, or someone is watching you from afar, perhaps. That hawk energy is very strong for me. It feels like, more of um, like your spirit nature can be very hawk-like. A lot of Native Americans would use like hawk feathers in their kind of headdresses. So it does have like a strong spiritual significance. There's been a few times when I would see like a hawk pop up. But let's see what messages we're getting from the cards. The death. It's major arcana energy. The boundaries which divide life from death are at best shadowy and vague. Who shall say where the one ends and the other begins? The moon was at the bottom, behind the death. Okay, so the death card is about endings, for sure. Um, that feeling of, I don't know, with the hawk spirit energy and then seeing the death card. Uh, for some reason, I want to get uh, like Indian burial ground, sacred, like a sacred place, um, some type of like hill or some type of place that is very significant, or some place where a death has taken place. So it may be that you're from a place, your hometown may be from a place where it's like close to an Indian reservation, or perhaps Native Americans were there in the past, and um, and perhaps there's something significant about a death that has occurred there in your hometown. This could be about a loved one who passed away in the past, or it could be about a particular case surrounding a death that has happened in the past. It could be about an upcoming death, or an upcoming ending. The death card represents Scorpio. You could be dealing with a Scorpio. The number 13, you may want to look out for the number 13. Some people see 13 as negative, but 13 can be lucky or negative. I actually see someone pretty frequently who has a license plate that says lucky 13. But then a lot of death symbolism around that as well. With the Scorpio energy, there's very intense emotion. So grieving would be one of those kind of intense emotions that comes with Scorpio, or revenge, like losing your cool, being so caught up in the emotion of revenge that that's you're all consumed by it. um Scorpio can also be like a business, has association with business. I think of Scorpios as being very you know pretty good business people. So it could also be about an ending of some sort, and then like perhaps an ending to like a job situation, and then going into starting your own business, but or an ending to a way of doing something. With the moon and the death, the moon and the death, um I can think about that as like a night death, like something coming to an end in your sleep, something ending at night, um a secret ending, um because the moon represents things that are not, that are hidden, that are kind of behind the scenes. It could be a spiritual death. um you know um the Bible talks about the second death, you know. So it's that feels like pretty intense energy. You're getting like two major arcana, the death and the moon. The moon is card number 18 and the 13. So there's five um five major arcana cards in between those two, and five is a number of kind of conflict. Let's see what else we get. This ending. Could be the end of a conflict with not much um, fanfare. The two of candles. This is like the two of wands. Suddenly, a corner was turned. A blaze of light burst upon our sight. It's very interesting. Suddenly, a corner was turned. This is almost like that feeling. I'm getting. I don't know if this is necessarily what is associated with this card, but I'm seeing that he's holding the skull in his hand, which is like almost like he's holding like this depth, this transformation energy in his hands. And I get the feeling of like anticipation of something new happening, but as he's holding this, he's waiting for that to happen in a sense. um I think typically he's holding, in the right away he's holding like the globe. So it's like having the world in your hand, being able to move into something new. But it's like holding this sense of transformation in one's hands. If perhaps something had been holding up that process, is now beginning to move forward, right? And then it's two energy, so this is very much like um it's very much like intuitive energy in a sense. A blaze of light bursts upon our sight is almost like and that feels like a gunshot to me. Let's see what else. Another two, the high priestess. So 2-2 energy. Um, it feels like this is the right timing, especially because we saw the moon. It's like you're on the right track. You're on the right timing for this transformation to happen. The things that you want to end are actually ending. And it feels like this is meant to move you into this high priestess energy. So this is again yet another, major arcana that we're seeing with the high priestess. This is Pisces energy. And I was mentioning the eyesight of the hawk, and you see right here the bird is there in the eye of this high priestess. So I'm really feeling like, it's someone may be a seer. It may be that you are seeing things in your dreams that are very significant and very important. Your intuition is very, very strong and pronounced at this time, and you have this ability to, tap into your psychic downloads to guide you, wherever you need to go. So you perhaps are about to embark on this journey. There's a lot of significance about the number 2. It could be like a second time trying something. If you tried something in the past and it did not work, on the second go is going to come around. But I feel like you have a perspective that other people do not have. You're able to see things that other people are not able to see. Even the moon is behind this high priestess. Let my heart be still for a moment and this mystery explore. So yeah, I think you need to spend some time listening to your own personal intuition. This could mean like if you're a person that watches a lot of tarot, it may be that like you probably watch too much tarot, and you probably need to kind of listen to your own intuition for a bit and see what you're getting, and to trust your intuition, especially with the 222 showing up. I think that's significant. I'm also getting like 420, like perhaps you're smoking too much weed and that's clouding your sense of intuition, and so like taking a break from that would allow you to heighten your intuitive abilities, right? So the King of Pentacles there at the bottom, the King of Paws in this particular deck, with that High Priestess. Perhaps it's a change in your intuitive work, like maybe switching up how you do it. It may be a sign to get like a new deck. 2 flipped over. And 10 of Quills. And I'm not big on reading reversals, but we got the 2 of Paws reversing. So like if you were juggling in the upright, this feels like what? Like dropping the ball in a sense. Weep now or never more. With this 10 of Quills, and of course the hawk is flying over there. That's pretty interesting, I guess. Like another 2, so we saw the 222, and then the 10. 10 represents the culmination of something. Like this is a final death. We started with that death, and now we're seeing this death again, and that hawk flying in the background. So it definitely seems like something is done. The thing that's done is probably like this juggling, trying to balance 2 things, and so you're finally like not juggling anymore, like moving forward with one particular option. If this is in a relationship, it's like if you were juggling 2 partners, then absolutely one of those partnerships is done. It's no reason to give it any more of your energy. And perhaps that's it. Like perhaps someone is like trying to move on and have a new partnership with someone, but you're still holding on to feelings from the past, and it's finally time to just let that go. Let whatever it was from the past, like let it be done. Because I get the feeling that you're holding on to emotions for someone who kind of stabbed you in the back. Let it go. Is that Keisha Cole? I saw Keisha. Wait, did you watch the VMAs? Because when Diddy came out, it was so interesting that like the whole of Diddy segment was a little bit cringe because most of the bad boy entertainment folks that you would expect to be in like a whole Diddy celebration segment were nowhere to be found. It probably speaks about, whatever Diddy's relationships were, whatever the journey he had to take to get to where he was probably meant that, a lot of bridges had to be burned. But his son was really interesting. I call him Lil Diddy X. But he came out there and did like Mace part of the song, and then I seen this girl come out, and I'm like, is that K Michelle? It wasn't K Michelle. It was Keisha Cole, and Keisha Cole was singing. The mic not have been on for anybody else all night. Keisha Cole mic was on. The Five of Will. Somebody is sitting, contemplating this loss. So this may be an actual death of someone, or like a divorce. This it could be a death or a divorce, but someone is absolutely grieving. They're sitting alone, thinking about this loss. This is a card that usually is associated with like a loss that's like a death, but seeing the death. This could be someone kind of, because you see the 2 cups there on the table. They are mourning the loss of this 2 cups situation. I'm very sad about it. They're wrapped up in this black, like, mourning cloth. It says the skies were as ashen and somber. The skies, they were ashen and somber. The leaves, they were crisp and sere. The leaves, they were withering and sere. It was night in the lonesome October of my most immemorial year. This is Edgar Allan Poe writing, so it's very I don't know what you call this, prose. It feels like poetry to me. But you see there's like tears that are falling. There's absolutely like some grief. Someone is absolutely mourning the loss of someone sitting in this chair. It feels like that, kind of past relationship. And at the bottom is like this Knight of Quills in reverse. And perhaps that's that person that, you're no longer juggling that situation, and they stabbed you in the back and perhaps are now mourning the loss because you're no longer juggling that situation. They pop right back out. The Five of Wells with the Ace of Candles at the bottom. Like, I get the feeling that they recognize that, wow, what I had in the past was something that was so special, and they just couldn't do right. They treated you like any other old candle. Queen of Paws, when they should have been like really taking care of you. I get the feeling that, like, when they had you around, they were doing so well. This Queen of Paws could be the person who's also, it could be like a mother figure who's also the person who's doing like a lot of this mourning. So it could be like, a family member that you were supporting. But I'm getting that, this could be multiple people like that are really like, when you were there, in their presence. Things are going so well. Like you bring all of this value, but you know, you were feeling really unappreciated. Taking my love for granted, baby. And I don't know how much more I can take from you. You don't know the things you used to do. Somebody, mama. You don't even say I love you too. And baby, I've been feeling unappreciated. I don't know if somebody mama feels unappreciated, or maybe they don't appreciate what you're doing. The high priestess again is popping out. They're seeing something. Someone's mom may be seeing something, or you're seeing something about your mom, about their behaviors. They aren't necessarily appreciating, what you're doing. That could be a thing. Lots of the major arcana cards popping up. That card wanted to. That. King of Quills. Who is this King of Quills? This is he looks a little bit distressed. He's like, the King of Quills, he has to be, it looks like he's, been in ready for battle. He's like, planning out what he's gonna do. His pen is very sharp. He has like, it's like the king in chess makes one move, can only move one spot, but it's like, it has to be a very like precise movement. So someone's using some precision. Being trapped. Someone may be feeling kind of trapped in this situation. Before pause. Holding on to this situation that they've been feeling trapped in, I get a feeling that, this is like what's coming to an end. Like this whole feeling of being trapped. Someone is going to be absolutely mourning this situation of, because, you're going to be walking away from whatever this like nightmare is, right? Because I think you've taken whatever it is that you've done, it's giving you a much higher perspective, a much more intuitive perspective. I get the feeling that someone has been, trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Now you take it as it resonates. This could be a romantic relationship. This could be someone at work, like a boss that is treating you in a way that you aren't necessarily valued and appreciated. This could be a family member, a parent, a sibling, a child who is doing this. But I think because you have, listened to your intuition, listen to your downloads, and continue to do that, that you have gained a much higher perspective, and you are allowing, the cycle to, rather than allowing the same cycles to repeat, to stay on repeat, you are allowing those cycles to come to an end so that you can then move on into, your, you can then move away from this situation into whatever's coming for you next. What's coming up for you next? Three of Whales. It was kind of in reverse, but that feels like a celebration. It feels like cheerful, happy times. This looks like, being a part of a band. There's like musicality there. It's like singing a new song, a little bit of gossip, I'm getting in that, but for the most part, it's cheery. It's like it's like a toast with the three of cups, right? So I feel like that's coming, and the 10 of paws. So like, what's after you move, allow yourself to move away from this situation where you're feeling backstabbed. What happens? You get, you know, uh, financial fulfillment. You know, um, and it's going to be like a celebration. Like things are going to be very happy and cheerful. You know, so I think that's really good. So yeah, like the death energy is hard. I didn't see like a tower, but there does feel like a lot of grieving energy in this, and perhaps it's like that intense emotion that is needed to move you out of this situation. So even like intuitively, like you may get a lot of hits that are very kind of like dark energy, or you may, like I said, someone may actually die, and that may be like the ending that then moves you out of this situation, right? So that's what I'm getting for you guys. It's your boy Brad.